Hey, Connie, thank you so much for joining me today. So I wanted to interview you because you have a pretty amazing and exciting story. And it all kind of revolves around sitting on your couch for about 3 months and losing a ton of weight while you were doing it. And I was just going to have you share like your 90-second story here real quick, just about how you kind of came to getting to the point of needing to lose some weight and what happened, over the past year.
Okay. Well, first of all, I've always been overweight. I've always struggled with weight. I've always been a binge eater. So that was a lifelong problem. But last year, at the beginning of 2020, we made a commitment to have my feet done. I was born with really bad feet. It's a genetic thing. So we had to get ready for that. And each foot had to be done separately. It was 6 weeks of zero weight bearing. I couldn't even tap the floor with my foot once the surgery was done. So I started trying to move around and going backwards up the stairs on my bum, and I couldn't maneuver. I was too heavy. I was 208.8 pounds. And I realized then that I cannot navigate my own house on one foot. And we have a lot of step ups. We had the stairs, and I finally realized I had to do something with my weight. So I did this program, and I lost 25 pounds in 6 weeks. And then when my surgery was rescheduled because of COVID, till July, I decided to lose 25 more pounds, which was a blessing. And then I spent from mid-July to January 1st on my buddy here, the couch. And during that time, I just laid around and followed program to the T, and I lost an additional 38 pounds while I was convalescing.
Well, and who wouldn't like to just lay on the couch and lose 38 pounds? It's
Yeah.
just kind of crazy, how that was going. But you had a tough 3 months. It was like one foot surgery, and then you had a back surgery.
Yeah.
That was, so we always say it's, you cannot exercise your diet. It's all nutrition, and then the exercise is really for cardiovascular fitness. So you definitely learned some things as you went through this program. But, do you have like a word that would describe you before you started? And this might be a hard one, but I always say, like, one word would describe you, before you started program? um, I would say right now you're very healthy. And you've completely changed your health. um, did you feel like you were kind of sickly then, back before you started? Like, how would you explain the difference between you then and now?
I think before program, despair is the best word I could explain. There's a very strong hopelessness, shame, frustration, depression, but I think despair covers all that pretty well.
Yeah. And as you started to make some strides, looking at food more as fuel than something to be more of an emotional connection. Did you kind of like baby step through that? Like, was it a hard process to change in your head, just looking at food as more as fuel than something that was just delicious? And you know
Actually, that wasn't a tough transition for me because it was okay to eat every 2.5 to 3 hours, and I was really jazzed about that. And I loved the food. There's not many programs where you can have a brownie or a chocolate chip cookie or a shake. So when I started the program, there was so much hope and joy in finally finding a solution to a lifelong struggle that I was more than eager to make those adjustments. So it was actually pretty easy for me to embrace. I even practiced before I got on program of setting my timer and getting that water intake up and eating small meals so I could be pretty well trained from the get-go.
Good. Well, and what challenges do you have, now that you are at your weight that you need to be at, and you are now kind of transitioning back to eating, kind of a little bit of everything now. What
Yeah.
kind of challenges are you facing with that?
Meal management, transition has been challenging for me. I've been taking it slow because I lost so much weight. I think it's 89 pounds now. So I'm doing 2 weeks per transition section, and I am struggling to find time to make sure I get all that extra food in. So just trying to master and spread it out throughout the day, so it's not one big, I got to eat all this at the end of the day. So it's a nice dilemma to have, is how do I get to eat all this food? So it's not a torture for sure.
I know. And it's interesting because, you can eat 2000 calories of healthy food and it's like a lot of food. Or you can just go to Jimmy John's and get like one of their sandwiches and eat like 2000 calories. So 2000 calories of healthy food is a lot of food and you feel like you're eating all day, but
Oh, yeah.
2000 calories of junk you can get done, pretty easily. So,
Yeah.
what other helpful tips do you have for any people out there to just try to, get some healthy food, in your house and, make some easy changes?
A couple things when you start program, just get rid of all the junk. Just get it out of there. Get it out. Second of all, what really helped me stick with program was a time management. I would prep things ahead of time. I did a video yesterday and the day before on how to make these the fillings into like these yummy desserts. I just make big batches and freeze them up. I do that with the waffling a bunch of fillings. So just prepping and having things that are easy grab and go. So you don't have to give it much thought, and all you have to do is just stick with your timer. So I think that's the best advice I can give is, manage how you're going to do your fillings. And if you can, make a lot ahead of time or a batch ahead of time, freeze them up. The freezer is a beautiful thing.
Well, and I was going to ask you, so Mother's Day is coming up here pretty soon. So what would you eat, on Mother's Day? Like what kind of healthy, things would you eat on Mother's Day? Because you used to
Healthier
eat
in the old days,
healthy, yeah,
unhealthy.
healthier things. So I know you, from back before, and you used to make a lot of really decadent food,
Yeah.
and eat a lot of it, very often.
Yeah.
Red wine was definitely like a favorite of yours.
White,
What
actually.
white
White was my,
wine? Yep, I was a
yeah.
red wine. I was like the 3/4 of a bottle of red wine, and you were probably the white wine equivalent.
Yeah.
So, what kinds of healthy things, are you going to make for Mother's Day, for yourself?
First of all, I don't. My husband does, but I do plan the menu. It will probably be seafood on the grill, more than like scallops or maybe crab claw legs on the grill. I always make up a variety of herbal teas because I like my tea iced and my coffee hot. So we'll have some really nice iced teas and find probably the grilled portobello mushroom with uh, spinach salad and pine nuts on it. So that's going to be easy. What we used to do is get like ice cream cake or a big dessert from Casetas. This year we won't be doing that, and I'm going to go for more family game time, or if it's really nice out, a bonfire or something like that. Do more of an event together.
Excellent. And the one other question I was going to ask you before I let you go is you have started coaching, people through your program. You found that it was, something to keep you kind of accountable
Yeah.
because you had to, basically learn some things that, were a little bit scary to you because you weren't a big social media person before this. And that like definitely, struck fear in your heart to share that out loud. But what has coaching done to bless you, in your life to keep you on the path to health?
There have been so many blessings that I did not realize coaching would bring me. Every day there's a new discovery. It's been great for the accountability because you're constantly reviewing the disciplines and talking about it. So it keeps it in the forefront of your mind, and it ensures that you walk the talk, so to speak. And I'm grateful for that. It's been so such a blessing in affirmation. This week alone, so many of my clients have been emailing me their appreciation of my being there to walk them through this. I didn't really think of that as something that would happen. I don't know. And it's been such a blessing. I also, whatever money I make, and dedicated 30% of it to kingdom expansion, to various charities that we work on. And that's actually been so gratifying that here I am helping people get healthy. And that's a form of ministry for me. And then the money that I make, I get to continue on with other ministries that we've been supporting. So it's just layer upon layer upon layer of blessings. And it's got my boys involved in the process. So they're seeing their mom starting to work more. They're starting to see the work ethic and filling other people up with hope and encouraging others. And yeah, it's been a huge blessing on that. And my husband's been more involved because numbers are not my thing. So he's been really good at managing what funds go where for our donations, what goes to the business and what goes to savings. So it's become a family venture that never thought that was possible. So that's been a huge blessing as well. And I'm conquering my fear of technology. I really am ignorant in the technology world, but in the past 2 months, I've seen so much, or 3 months now, so much personal growth. And
I have to. I can't believe it. Literally, I can't believe it. When I see you, somebody that I know that it would make them so fearful to do anything on Facebook, and you just kind of threw yourself right in there.
yeah,
But what you'll find, once you start sharing, it's like, why not share it with, thousands of people if you can, versus just telling one person, because you can really help, so many more people in this way. So,
that's
what
true.
you'll find, what you found, that everybody finds is this is really, a personal development program with a weight loss component.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
It's definitely something that you're constantly striving for. You're always going to be striving for, like, getting healthier and doing some other component. Now, that you're back and your feet are better and you're lighter, you're going to be able to do probably a lot more activity this summer and get out and about, and just at least do some healthy walking and healthy movement, and keep getting your family active and doing all sorts of stuff. So maybe get a bike. I don't know if you have a bike.
I do have a bike, but I was always afraid to ride it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the cobwebs off that.
Yeah. Well, you're doing awesome. Keep inspiring people every day. Go to Connie's Facebook page. She will always have some kind of inspiration or something funny, in the morning, some kind of recipe in the afternoon. And, some of the things are really quick, and some of the things are going to be for your foodies out there that like to have something a little bit more complicated, but, it doesn't have to be complicated. I can tell you that. And then in the evening, she'll usually show some kind of transformation that's going to just amaze you. And it doesn't matter if you have, weight to gain, weight to lose, that's 5 pounds, 50 pounds, 400 pounds. It's just kind of predictable transformation, no matter, where you're coming from. So we appreciate you living your journey out loud, Connie. And we can't wait to see your transition, which you're going to be living out loud as well. So you can teach people how to just eat, kind of normal, healthy food and what that looks like. But it was great to talk to you today. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I'm glad that you're off that couch finally, and you're not sitting there with your feet up. Well,
yeah, I enjoy the couch.
I know. Well, it's a nice couch. Well done.